Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio, and this video is a little different. It is a sped up voiced over version of our live stream channel show today, Thursday, February 8th. We were talking about drawing faces, and here in the video I was talking about different faces that I had drawn. There is a challenge going on called 29 Faces where you draw a face each day, and I'm not doing very well. I think I've only done 3. These ones on the tags were ones that I did last year, and I only got to day 14, and then I was traveling, and after that I didn't do anything after that, and I was doing them on tags, which are a little bit smaller and easier. This time I have a book, and I was trying to do them, but anyway, our live show today was about drawing faces, and so I figured that you might want to watch a sped up version of that. In case you don't like to watch an hour and a half, you can watch 20 minutes instead here on my channel. So I went through and edited out all the parts where Peg was because this is my channel, and she'll do a speed over on her channel with just her parts of this live stream show. The first thing I did was I have a gessoed page with tape around it, and I decided to use some stencils with some Marabu art sprays, which are a permanent acrylic spray. I just wanted to get something on the page. I didn't want it to be white when I started to draw. And then I decided, Peg was doing dripping on her page, so I decided to do dripping on my page with this fluorescent pink golden high flow acrylic, which turned out to be a mistake because that paint is broken and it never dried. I had to put gesso over it because it was sticky. It just wouldn't dry, and it wasn't as vibrant as it used to be, so I just need to get rid of that paint altogether, which is sad because I liked it. It's a fun fluorescent pink. So at this point I've already put a coat of gesso over everything so that I could seal in that sticky paint. And I'm talking about drawing. I'm talking about things that you might use to draw. These are drawing pencils going from a hard lead to a soft lead, which makes it, you know, the line darker or lighter. These are graphite drawing pencils. So I picked the 6B, which is the softest one in the set, because it will draw the darkest line, and I was talking about how to draw faces. So the first thing that you do, this is a simple front-facing portrait. You need to draw an egg shape, and depending on how round or how thin or how long or short it is will depend on what your face looks like. But generally it is an egg shape or an oval that you start out with. And then necks shouldn't be a skinny little stick at the end. They should start at the edges of where the oval is starting to come in and go down. A lot of people make them very, very thin. Then, of course, eye placement. The confusing thing is that your eyes should be placed right in the halfway point of the face. Not up higher at the top where we would think they would be, but in the middle, because we don't see what's under people's hair, so we don't realize the actual shape of a head. Then the bottom of the nose is halfway in between the eye line and the chin, and the mouth line is halfway between the nose and the chin. So that kind of gives you an idea. Ears, the bottom is at the bottom of the nose and the top is at the eye line. If you'd like to watch this in real time, the link to the live stream video will be in the description box below, and you can go and watch it, and listen to everything that was said and the speed that it went. This is 2 times fast. So then, of course, eye spacing. There should be the amount of how big you make the eye space in between the eyes. And then the beginning of the eyebrow starts at the corner of the eye and goes out. And then I drew a very simple nose. You make parentheses, basically, and it's not straight. I can see that in the video, but I couldn't see it when I was drawing because it's hard to draw and talk at the same time. But then a third away up of the parentheses, you make these little hooky shapes, and then hook those together with an upside down hooky shape. Then add a little bit of shadow at the top of the nose and under the nostrils. And then, of course, the thing under the thing that comes down under your nose, I'm not sure what it's called, and that's the top of the lip. That's where the little shape of the lip is, and then the middle part of the lip should be at that line. And then you can add in a chin if you want to. Eyelids, and of course rounding out the eyes. And then of course I talked about pupils and irises. A lot of people just want to make a big circle, but actually it should only be like a 3/4 of a circle, because your eyelid comes down over your iris almost all of the time, unless you're very surprised and then your eyes are wide open or something like that, or scared. So that was the basic tutorial on faces and how to draw a front-facing portrait. There I was talking about putting the hair on. So then we went to Peg, and then we came back to me, and I was drawing hair at this point, still using the graphite pencil. And I decided to give her a headband with some flowers in her hair, and to kind of make like messy hair. Maybe it's a bun in the back and tendrils are coming out. So then I didn't want to completely cover up the pattern on the face, but I did want to kind of tone it down a little bit. So I used some white gesso over the face area and the ears. And I was talking about highlighting, where the lightest places on the face are your forehead, the bridge of your nose, and the tip of your nose, the tip of your chin, tops of your cheeks. So those are the places that you want to leave the lightest when you're drawing a face. And then talking about shadows, cool colors, making better shadows than warm colors. And so I was using a purple lavender to start doing shadows and blending it with a little bit of water. This is my Neocolor 2 water-soluble crayons that I used for the rest of the project pretty much. That leftover gesso I'm using to help seal in the watercolor crayon and blend it out a little bit. It's a little bit easier to do it with acrylic on your paintbrush, because this is over a lot of layers of acrylic. I did have a lot of trouble during this with that sticky paint. It was peeling away from the page and things. It was kind of a mess. So if you see weird scratchy blotchy spots on the finished piece, you'll know that's what it's from. Pieces were peeling away. I'm very sad about that paint. I'm not sure what happened to it, but it's definitely broken. So then I was using a light pink color to kind of bring in some warmth into the skin at the tip of the nose, the cheeks, the tip of the chin, up on the forehead where it sticks out a little bit. A lot of people just put pink on the lips and the cheeks, but you should actually spread it around a little bit. And then I brought in a little bit darker pink on the lips and brought that in a little bit to the edges of the cheeks and stuff like that. Talking about the highlight on the lip, where it might be, using just that same white gesso to do highlights. So then I colored in the hair with a darker purple crayon, and now I'm adding in highlights using the white gesso, and still blending a little bit, just deepening the shadows and things. At some point there, it went over to Peg and what she was doing, and then it came back to me. That's how this video will be. You won't see every single thing, because we jump back and forth depending on who's talking and who's teaching on our live stream channel. So you don't see every single bit of everything from both of us, because it's hopping back and forth. I hope you understand that. So that's what this video is just my portion sped up and voiced over. So I'm still messing around with putting more color in and defining some places. Still blending a little bit. putting some base color on the flowers. I ended up collaging the flowers at the end because, you know, I love collage, and it would have been fun to do an entire paper painted face, but I didn't think that I had time to do that. It's very time consuming, so mixed media was the way to go for live streaming, definitely. That's the reason that you don't see as much paper painting on my channel, just because it would be very long videos. Even trying to speed it up, it becomes, you know, you miss a lot because it's sped up so much and pieces are taken out in order to make it fit into a 20-minute video. So I hope you enjoy this. I know a lot of people like to watch sped up voiceover videos and will not watch a live stream, so I thought it would be interesting to do that on this channel, and then you can always go watch the live stream on the other channel if you want to see the full thing. So then I got out a charcoal pencil. This was the medium density charcoal, and I have a blending tool, a tortillon, or whatever you want to call it, paper stump, to blend the charcoal, and I'm adding in the details and darker shadows using that. I was talking about how you make white charcoal because I don't really know how you could possibly have white charcoal, and I do have a white charcoal pencil there, so that's what I was talking about when my hands were moving around. It's funny to watch this. It's very different to watch this versus the way I normally do things. And it kind of jumps around, and I can remember what I was talking about at the time, and then I have to kind of paraphrase because this is faster. It's kind of funny. So still adding the charcoal pencil in to deepen the shadows and add some areas of kind of a little bit of outlining, but more just kind of shading areas with the charcoal pencil. Chunking out the hair a little bit. Blending it with the blending stump or paper stump or tortillon, whatever you want to call it. Tortillon makes me laugh because I keep wanting to say tortilla because we eat a lot of tortillas here in Arizona. So I always think it's a tortilla. So at this point, I'm deciding what color to make her eyes, and somebody in the chat said that she looked like a fairy queen, so I thought she should have unusual eyes. So I used kind of an aqua color and then a yellow color on the other side, and I think her eyes are pretty striking, in, you know, with all the pinks and purples, and then you have this turquoisey color. That's where I'm looking for my white Posca pen. Couldn't find it. Finally found it in the drawer. I was about to have a panic attack. I can't live without white Posca. I wanted to add in the catch lights into the eyes with the white Posca pen, and I was like, where is it? Then I decide at this point that I'm going to collage the flowers. So I have a few baskets of different scrap pieces of leftover paint on deli paper or leftover sprays or pattern paper or jelly prints. And when I have little pieces left, I just categorize them by color and I put them in these plastic boxes to collage with. So I'm just doing torn paper flowers here. I did find that one die cut flower just randomly in that box with the greens. I'm not sure why it was in there, but I decided to use it as well. I used that kind of turquoisey green one first to bring in the color of the eyes into the composition because the eyes have that same turquoisey teal aqua color, and so I needed something to coordinate with that. So I used that piece a few times. It was actually a piece of paper towel that had leftover paint on it. And then I have, that's a gel print, and then I've got some overspray papers that have a light green, and I'm just adding in the leaves around the flowers, and I put the headband so all these flowers would be attached to a headband. Well, and that was when I decided to use that die cut flower that's, I think it was probably from Happy Meal, but I'm not sure how it got in this box, but I guess it must have been on the floor and I just popped it. You know, you open something or you have an envelope of something and things fall out. So I must have just picked it up and popped it in the green box of things to collage with. So then I get out some pinks and I start putting some different pinks and purples in the flowers. I'm using Liquitex matte gel medium to put these on because I have a variety of thicknesses of paper, and that's just the easiest one to attach thicker paper with. Like that piece is a lot thicker, that light pink one. Since these are just random scraps, there's no rhyme or reason as to what might be in the boxes, what sort of a scrap it might be. It might even be packaging. If I find an interesting pattern or color that I like from packaging, I just tear it and throw it in the box. Actually, I tear them and I throw them in a big pile, and then every once in a while I get around to sorting them into the boxes. That's what really happens. Let's be realistic here, people. So now I've got some lavenders and purples, some more pinks, just adding some petals and things to my flowers. And then I think I get some green up at the top eventually. It's just supposed to look like an interesting collection of flowers on a headband on my fairy princess, apparently, fairy queen, according to someone in the chat. If you attend the live stream, you can come in and chat with us while we're working and ask questions. So then I got back out the charcoal pencil and started to add back in some shading around the flowers just to, you know, kind of make it match the drawing as well. And then that was pretty much it, I think. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment so I know you were here. Subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to turn on your notification bells. Of course, you can go over to Art Joy of Sharing live stream channel to see this video in live time, and also you can subscribe and turn on your notifications over there and leave likes and comments so that we know that you're enjoying the live stream channel. So that's it for me. Thanks. Bye-bye.